Hey, would you make out with a horse for $1 million?
Oh, of course I would. And then next week,
And then you have a briefcase in front
you
of
got
you.
Smarty Jones, you know.
You're putting chapstick on. Where's that horse at? I mean, I know they're signing up everybody right now for the Atlanta territory.
Like crazy.
And there's guys out there that are jumping at 3-year deals for $500 a week. And I'm in a different place than those guys are. Joe's in a different place than those guys are. You know, those guys probably work in one state. You know, they probably have to work maybe a real job or two, which is like garlic to a vampire to me right now is a real job. You know, we're supporting
Cuts
ourselves.
into my drinking time. So
We're supporting ourselves on wrestling, and we get to wrestle around the entire world. And you know, without getting into specifics, we get paid pretty good for it, and we're both happy like doing what we're doing. And you know, not to speak for you, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that if we took a developmental, not only would we be taking a pay cut, but we'd have to move someplace.
Yeah.
And we'd also wouldn't be able to do what we do now, and that's what we love. You know. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much in the same camp. I mean, I know we're fortunate. I mean, we're two of maybe a handful of people, honestly, who could say they can do this for a living. And we kind of have to make our own way. And of course, it's a lot more risk compared to like a WWE developmental where you got a steady paychecks coming all the time. But I mean, I especially these days, I score a lot more than I miss, so it's not. You know, it's not really that much of a risk for me. But like taking a developmental, I mean, like I said, you know, you're going to move to one of these territories. You're going to wrestle the WWE style, which there's nothing wrong with the WWE style, but it's not the way that I was brought up to wrestle. You know, I was brought up to wrestle a certain way. I didn't spend time living in Japan, learning technique and stuff to have that all erased from my mind and taught a new way to wrestle. You know, I think what makes me unique and what makes me one of my few marketable things is that I wrestle the way I do. So, you know, and I enjoy the way I wrestle. You know, I enjoy the things I do, and I enjoy going out there and working the way I want to work. And you know, and I do this because I enjoy it. You know, I'm also fortunate to call my current living something that I really enjoy doing, and to take that joy out of it for the promise of fame.
Ain't no promise either.
Yeah, it ain't a promise for the potential opportunity for the promise of fame. Then it's like that's not the risk I'm willing to take right now because I'm really, really, really happy wrestling, and I'm really, really happy entertaining the people I'm entertaining. WWE, without a doubt, is the #1 company in the world, and I know this from experience. I mean, I still do. I work with New Japan. I work for 01. I've been over. I've seen all the major companies in the world. WWE is the #1 company in the world. But to find financial success in WWE is not a guarantee, and to find happiness with what you're doing with WWE is definitely not a guarantee. And I know, I have tons of friends who work for WWE. Some are extremely happy doing well. John Cena, God bless him, is doing great, and I hope he continues to skyrocket and is. I mean, just blows up beyond belief and goes on to do films like The Rock and all that stuff, which he's working towards. But I have other friends on Raw and SmackDown too who are absolutely miserable. And you know, I would not risk what I have now to be one of those guys.
Yeah.
Just to say that I'm a WWE wrestler. And I have a feeling because of the way I wrestle and because of the things I do, I would probably end up one of those types of wrestlers. So, you know, like I said, if the opportunity presented itself in the right circumstances, then maybe. But as far as taking a developmental deal, I'm not hot. I'm not really super. I don't think I'd be very, very, receptive towards it, I guess.
Are you surprised at how WWE has changed to where they're only looking to sign guys with a specific look?
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's TV. I know you got to have a body to be on TV. Period. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't like that. I miss the days of Bastion Booger and, like plump Davey Boy Smith and stuff like that, But, I mean, as long as there's guys that are jumping at these, these deals, $500 a week for 3 years, and that's barely going to support their steroid habit, and they're comfortable with their heart exploding at 34. There's always going to be guys like me and Joe that are like, yeah, well, we're better off where we are right now anyway. So,
I mean, I understand what they're looking for, and I mean, honestly, what it looks like to me, the way the WWE's current climate and the way that they're recruiting guys is that it's kind of like a talent search for the next Rock. I mean, they could do a reality show behind it, because I mean, every guy that I see that's come through there, they look at him like, man, we're looking for the next Rock. But in the meantime, I think they're missing out on a lot of potential guys who could do better for them in other capacities with other characters fitting a different type of mold and searching for that next Rock. And I understand the need for that, because because basically it's always in WWE, it's always been that one headliner who's carried the company on their back and who's brought it to prominence. But it's been that undercard of really entertaining, steady characters that have kept the company on top during those times. You know, you can't just have that one main eventer and there's nothing for him to face. You know, and I think now basically that's what you got. You got a lot of that, and I understand. And aesthetic appeal is very important in today's day and age, and especially when in TV and stuff. And I totally understand the need for that. They're not just gearing towards wrestling fans. They're trying to get the mainstream public back into the product, trying to pull back in the mainstream fans who are not savvy to wrestling, who just flip the channels through, and then they're hopefully they see some guy, it catches their eye, and they stop and they start watching. I can totally understand that, and like I don't harbor like a lot of bitterness, like, oh, F WWE because they don't give the real wrestlers a chance. Well, they're a company, they're a business, they're making money, and that's the way
they're not a wrestling company.
Yeah, they're a company, and that's the way they feel they're going to make money. Well, then let them make money that way. I'm not going to sit here and tell Vince McMahon how to make money, but at the same time, I know from my perspective, when I look at what they have and the roster they have now compared to the rosters that they had in the past that have made them the most money, that have catapulted them to the heights that they've had, that their roster now is nothing like the roster was back then. So it's at the same time, I'm kind of like, well, I don't know, maybe they consider it an evolution of the product, but as far as I'm concerned, I feel they're kind of stifling a lot of the wrestlers that they have there, and they're not letting them kind of branch out and be the market, and be marketable, and be comfortable as the characters they want to be, and make the money that they have the potential to make.
What was it like being at the New Japan Dojo with Jushin Liger?
It was cool. Like, yeah.
Liger's a real cool guy.
Yeah, Liger's cool. It wasn't really anything, new. I mean, the dojo is almost like home away from home for him, and I've been there countless times. But just to meet Liger and just see how down to earth and like how cool he was, that was pretty rad. He's not like the big superstar you would think he could be. Mm-hmm. He doesn't throw his weight around or anything like that. He worked out with everybody. He ate with everybody. We climbed a mountain.
He was last. It was great.
He
Very
was.
short legs.
It was a good time though. Nothing too overwhelming, and it was just a great atmosphere. Like everybody was there to train, everybody was there to learn.
All right, we're gonna run through some names. Maybe you guys can give your opinions, or you have some good stories on them. First on the list is Teddy Hart.
Teddy Hart. No, I don't think I got any Teddy Hart stories.
Honestly, like, yeah, I've talked to him plenty of times since the incident now, and yeah, he's just Teddy. Hey,
He's just Teddy.
He's just Teddy. He just like he has his world that he loves to exist in, and it seems like a very happy place for him. So.
Yeah, me and him, I guess, buried the hatchet back in October at the Jersey All Pro show.
Yeah.
I was in my little corner of the locker room, and like,
was that PWG?
No, Jersey All Pro.
Was it Jersey All Pro?
Yeah, it was in October. I worked key.
Yeah, okay.
He came walking in like a fur coat or some shit, and like after a while, like I just walked over to him and I was like, "Hey, Teddy," I'm like, "I saw you walk in,"